Conte, a couple weeks ago with the Gilmore stuff, you said you've learned not to get your hopes up over that stuff around here. Where is your hope level with the Odell stuff right now?
Yeah, I learned my lesson with that, but they're up pretty high. I'm not gonna lie. Hopes are up. They're pretty high. Been talking to them a little bit, so we'll see what happens. But like I've said previously, I don't expect anything to happen. But if it does, that'd be great.
So we haven't seen you tag him on the gram or anything,
Yeah.
but you've been in communication.
Well, they're bringing up old tweets and old Instagram comments and all of that already, so I don't even need to do that. So.
But you talked to him and been in contact with him?
Yeah, we talked a little bit. It hasn't been extensive talks, but we definitely have entertained the idea, just trying to see where his mind is. And I don't think he knows right now what the deal is, but yeah, I've been kind of joking throughout the process of him with over in Cleveland and stuff, just kind of letting him know he got a nice home over here if he's ready for that. And if it could work, but it's a business, so it's a lot that goes into it. It's not as easy as we want him, and he wants to be here, so we'll see what happens.
What's your relationship like with him?
I mean, we're not best friends, but we definitely speak. We've been in contact. We talk several times throughout the year, pretty much every year since we've both been in the league, came in together. He was actually roommates with one of my best friends at the Combine, so that was when I first met him, was at the Combine in their room. We're just chilling. So that's where it started, and became pretty good friends, but haven't spent a ton of time together, being separated, not on the same team. So maybe that could change. We'll see.
What's the challenge with two alphas like you, and if OBJ were to join this team, of making that work? Obviously, he was best friend with Jarvis, and it didn't work in Cleveland.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been in a situation where two, of the league's, premier guys. Obviously it's been a different situation with him over the past few years, but everybody knows what he's still about. So I don't think there's a whole lot of doubt as far as what he can do. So it'll be different, I'm sure, but it's, I'm pretty secure in what I bring to this offense and this team. And I know what his mindset is based off what he just came from. He'd be happy to deal with, whatever at this point. I mean, he had one catch, like 6 yards in his last game. So I can guarantee you we can get him more than that over here. So as long as he's good with 2 catches, 12 yards, we should be straight.
Obviously, putting the cart before the horse here, Davante, but what would it do for you to have, I mean, no offense to the other guys because they all do their jobs really well, so I don't want you to take it that way, but what would it do for you to have a premier guy, as you call them?
I mean, it would do a lot just from the respect standpoint. Obviously, the guys we have are more than capable, and we can go win a Super Bowl with the guys we have in that room right now. But just knowing, that's Odell Beckham Jr. over there. You can't just leave him one-on-one with just whatever corner. I'm sure there will be opportunities where I'll be left one-on-one still now, and he would get that as well. But the likelihood of it definitely goes down when you have a guy like that over there. They kind of got to play it a little bit more straight up, which will allow a little less attention coming my way and more one-on-one opportunities, hopefully.
Have you talked to Aaron texting-wise about this potential, and did LaFleur or Gutekunst kind of reach out to you, just pick your brain about the idea?
No, haven't gotten into. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, so we kind of prioritizing what we talk about. But no, I haven't talked to anybody other than Odell really about it. A couple of teammates and stuff like that loosely, but no, haven't gotten into it with any management or 12.
Monte, I feel like I should know this, so I'm sorry I don't, but who was your close friend that was his roommate at the Combine?
Isaiah Burse. He was our F at Fresno, so it was me, him, and Josh Harper. And yeah, that was who we were with.
Was there anything unexpected about how you got through conditioning, coming off the list, to football playing that caught you, or that might impact the quarterback this weekend in any of the same ways?
I don't know how it'll impact Aaron or the quarterback, the position. It's much different movements, but definitely was a little bit more taxed in the game than I usually would be. It felt kind of like week 1 all over again. It wasn't anything crazy. And I don't think it was the COVID that did it. It was more so just being stationary, not moving around for 10 days, which doesn't seem crazy, but when you're moving every day and, getting the conditioning that we get as wideouts, you definitely notice a difference. So a day like today, I get a little bit more in, just try to get back where I was. But I found myself walking to the huddle a couple times at the end of the game where I really noticed that I was starting to be a little bit more tired, but nothing crazy. It was just, just felt like I run a few more deep routes or something throughout the game.
What do you think about how Jordan handled that?
I feel like he handled it really well. Obviously, I'm sure he wishes he would have played a little bit better, but it's his first opportunity in the game. I don't know how he measures up to the Brett Favres and Aaron Rodgers of the world as far as their very first appearance in a game. Obviously, we can't count week 1 because it's the end of the game, but 4 weeks to prepare for him for the most part, and I like what he did. I like that he stayed pretty poised in there. A lot of things thrown at him. They were bringing a lot of blitzes and trying him as a young quarterback. And I liked his poise in the huddle is really what I was most impressed with. But it's a learning experience, man. I like to think I grew as a player as I got more experience, and same with Aaron Rodgers and Dan Marino and whoever else was in there at quarterback. It's a tough position, so I'm happy with what he did though. Proud of him.
What was the difference you saw in him from the start of the game to the end of the game, or did you notice any kind of growth there from the start of the game?
I felt like he was pretty even keel. I definitely noticed that he got a little bit more comfortable as he got a few more completions as we went. But when they throw the kitchen sink at you like that, it kind of keeps you off the spot and pretty uncomfortable. And we obviously could have had he could have got a little bit more help, honestly, to make his job easier as a first-time starting quarterback. So it takes everybody. It takes all of it. It takes me playing a little bit better. It takes the running backs going and stepping up and blocking the A gap and the B gaps when they're bringing a lot of guys. It takes the coaches putting the quarterback in the best possible situation with calls, and it just takes all 11 plus the coaching staff. So it's not an easy task, but I definitely noticed that he got more comfortable throughout the game, though.
Davante, we've asked you about rivalries, Bears and the Lions and NFC North stuff. You said, I hate everybody. But
Yeah.
You've seen these Seahawks since, I believe, week 1 of your rookie year, and you've seen them a lot. What's it like when you go against these guys?
It kind of feels like a division game for me, honestly. It's such a familiar opponent at this point to where, we played them in playoffs, start the season, end the season, middle, here, there. So we've definitely had our experience with them. So we know them pretty well. They know us, I'm sure, pretty well. So it's always a fun game, though. Physical, those guys they've definitely changed from our rookie year as far as personnel, but still feels like the same type of, Packers-Bears type style rivalry. So it's always a fun game.
Davante, how weird is this week with maybe putting in a game plan with a quarterback who was possibly not going to play, knowing Aaron might? How do you get on the same page with Aaron, and how do you handle that as a receiver?
You said with Aaron?
Yeah, when he's not here, not able to practice, any of that.
Well, I mean, we've built up years and years of camaraderie at this point. I don't think we'll lose it over the course of 10 days, so I'm not too worried about that. It'll obviously be a little bit different, but today was a little bit more above the shoulders type day, so just moving around, making sure we know our assignments and control we can control. Can't control who's in there at quarterback right now. Just be ready to play for whoever's going to be slinging it.
Do you need to put in any additional communication with Aaron during the week, or just rely on the past?
Yeah, we'll probably talk. I'm sure. Well, not I'm sure. He is watching film, doing his thing, so I'm sure I'll get a text from him at some point throughout the week. I'll shoot him a text. I already talked to him this morning a little bit about it, so we'll start just labbing, trying to figure out what we what routes we like on the backside of stuff, or whatever it is. Just getting on the same page. So we communicate a lot about stuff like that throughout the week. So I'm sure it won't change. Whether we have to do it virtually or not.
Davante, when you had to do that ramp-up period or whatever, the 3 days, I guess leading up to coming back, is that up to you? Do you do what you need to do to get back in condition, and did you do that at home, or did you come?
No, it was when it started when I got back in here. They just started with some bikes, some light stuff, light cardio things, just to see. They don't want to trigger your wind, have you out there doing a conditioning test in the middle of the week, obviously, but get you moving a little bit, see how your body responds to. Especially since, obviously in California I can, go get on a treadmill or whatever, but, when I'm in season here, kind of just was stapled to the couch and, do some stretching and push-ups and stuff like that. But yeah, they just want to basically get us back into it, see how we feel, and then based off how you respond to the bike and the light jogging, then just kind of ramp it up from there and go, however you feel fits you best.
You've talked for two more here. You've talked about other receivers in the league, how you don't necessarily try to steal things from their game, but you're definitely aware of their skill sets. What can you say about DK Metcalf and his skill set that sets him apart?
DK Metcalf, he's one of the ones where it's tough to steal what he brings and what makes him him, because a lot of who he is as a player is, that huge frame, he's 6'4", 6'5", whatever it is, like 290, whatever, I don't know. So you can't really steal that from him. I wish I could go Monstar style and take the height and weight, but he's a special player. I really enjoy watching him. I like watching him without the ball just as much as I do when he's targeted. Really physical. He's gonna make those DBs work if it's run game or pass game. So play style more so is what I watch from DK. But it's definitely a lot of things you can take from a player like that for sure.
Davante, we all know how you view who you might match up with as a corner. We've all learned that now.
Thank you. I'm glad finally we understand that.
Some of us sooner than others. But what about scheme-wise? Because I'm just curious about the scheme that your defense runs. That's becoming more prevalent around the league. It seems to be working very well for your team. When you go up against that style, I know there's different variations, but in what ways does it challenge you, whether it's in practice when you're going against your guys or in games that run a similar defense?
To what we do?
Yeah.
I feel like our defense, it's always different when you play against the defense in the game versus practice. So, in camp, they're doubling me basically every single play. So it's a lot of what I get during the season. But yeah, it's tough to really answer that because I haven't played against us in a live situation. But there's a lot of things that I feel like it gets me ready for the season, definitely the way that they play me. Just because it's a Rolodex, I feel like we got a lot of rangy guys like Savage is used to play, kind of sideline to sideline. So, when you have a guy who's looking you up, especially because that's their thing, they got like a point system or whatever. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if that was Joe or with Coach Gray, but they used to have like a point system, which is, if they stop me, that's a 5-star stop. If you stop, a practice squad guy, it's a 2-star or whatever. So depending on who the player is. So they were hunting me down, trying to making sure that they could get as many points as they could. So going against a defense like what we can bring and the freedom they have, the communication and stuff like that, it definitely allows me to, because when I'm lining up now, I'm looking and I'm like really trying to find where everybody's at. It's not just coverage, it's trying to see, okay, well, they can rock and roll this possible way. So it can slow you down a little bit too. So that's the other part. If they really want to take a guy away, which I haven't really seen that we've been too concerned with specific receivers, partly because we played some defenses or some offenses this year that have multiple people. Like you can't just key in on Tyreek Hill because you got Kelsey that can go do his thing all game. So it's a little bit different, but I like the way, how they played a hell of a game this past game, so it's fun to watch. But the way that they kind of mix things up and can double guys different ways, or just having a late dropper from showing a too-high shell and then having a guy kind of slowly drop to the middle of the field and go rob. Different things like that makes it really tough to know how to run your route. So kudos to the staff for doing that.
Sir, we got time for one on Zoom.
Yep, go ahead, Stacey Dales. Hey Sarah, hey Davante, do you expect Aaron to play this week? Is that the expectation? And then more specifically, it was touched on, could you just give us a deeper perspective into how his relationship, his brain, the way he thinks and knows this offense mitigates him missing 10 days physically?
Well, I definitely do expect him to play. I don't know what exactly is going to happen with that. It's been a lot going on, but I expect him to play. But the way Aaron plays the game is just so much different. I always joked when I first got here is that you gotta learn the Packers' offensive playbook, and then you gotta learn Aaron's playbook as well. Just because the way he can kind of mix up things, change stuff at the line, you know, add an extra tight end in protection and things like that in a certain situation where they are bringing, you know, the kitchen sink. So that's probably the biggest thing is, you know, just the way his mind works and how he can think to find a solution from nothing or from being so much different from the initial plan. So we miss that type of thing because that comes with the experience and the confidence to truly know what's going on, because you can mess up the play by changing something and then that's not what they bring. So that probably be, hopefully that answered the question.